Chapter 1. The Perfect Life. Jessica Bradley looked happy. Everyone said that. She had a good job, a nice home, and a cute little daughter. On her phone, people liked every picture she posted. They wrote, "You are amazing," and "You are living a dream." Jessica always replied with a smile emoji. But when she put her phone down, her smile slowly disappeared. She sat on her bed one night and looked at her old photos. In every photo, she was smiling, but she could not remember when she was really happy. She whispered to herself, "Why do I feel empty when I have everything?" Her voice was low, and no one heard her. Her daughter, Anna, was sleeping in the next room. Jessica looked at her and smiled softly. "At least you are my reason to live," she said quietly. Next morning, Jessica got ready early. She wore a bright dress and looked in the mirror. "Come on, smile," she told herself. She smiled, but it felt strange. She took a selfie and posted it with the caption, "New day, new energy." Within minutes, hundreds of likes appeared. She looked at the screen and whispered, "Maybe this is what happiness means." But deep inside, she knew it was not true. Later that day, her best friend Emma called. "Hey Jess, I saw your post. You look great as always." Jessica laughed a little. "Thanks, Emma. Everything is fine." Emma said, "You sound tired. Are you okay?" Jessica paused. For a moment, she wanted to tell the truth, that she was not okay, that she felt lost, but she stopped herself. "Yes, I'm fine. Just busy, you know," she said quickly. Emma replied, "All right, but call me if you need to talk." Jessica said, "Sure," and ended the call. That night, Jessica sat with her phone again. She opened social media and scrolled through perfect lives, smiling faces, happy couples, expensive holidays. She whispered, "Maybe I'm the only one who feels like this." Her eyes filled with tears. She wiped them fast before Anna could see. She hugged her pillow and said, "Everything is fine, Jess. Everything is fine." But the more she said it, the more her heart felt heavy. In the morning, Anna ran to her. "Mom, are you okay?" Jessica smiled quickly. "Yes, darling. Mommy is always okay." Anna hugged her. "Good, because I love your smile," the little girl said. Jessica held her tight and whispered, "I love you too." When Anna went to school, Jessica looked at the mirror again. She saw a woman who looked perfect to the world, but lost to herself. She took a deep breath and said softly, "One day, I will stop pretending." But not today. She opened her laptop and started her day with the same line she always told herself. "Everything is fine." Chapter 2. The Secret Truth. Jessica sat at her office desk, staring at her phone. She was waiting for a message. Her boyfriend, Tom, hadn't called her for 2 days. He was usually sweet and caring, but now he was silent. She typed a message, "Are you okay?" Then deleted it. She didn't want to look weak. She told herself, maybe he's just busy. But her heart said something was wrong. When she came home that evening, she found a small yellow paper near the door. It was from Tom. Only one line was written, "It's not you, it's me." Her hands started shaking. She whispered, "What does that even mean?" Her eyes filled with tears. She sat on the floor and read the note again and again, hoping to find more words. But there was nothing. Just silence around her, and that one small paper in her hand. She wanted to call him, to ask why, but she couldn't. Instead, she picked up her phone and opened her social media app. She looked at her last photo with Tom. They were smiling together. The comments said, "Perfect couple," and "Love goals." Jessica looked at those words and smiled sadly. "Perfect?" she said. "Maybe only in pictures." That night she cried quietly so Anna wouldn't hear. Her tears fell on her pillow, but she kept whispering, "Everything is fine." She wanted to believe it. The next morning she put on makeup, tied her hair neatly, and took another picture. She smiled for the camera, though her heart was still broken. She posted the photo with the caption, "Feeling blessed and happy." Within minutes, people wrote, "You look beautiful. Your smile is magic." Jessica looked at the comments and said softly, "If only they knew the truth." Later that day, her colleague David walked into her office. "Hey Jess, you okay?" he asked. She looked up quickly. "Yes, of course. Why?" He said, "You look a bit pale. Everything all right?" She laughed. "I'm fine. Just didn't sleep well." David nodded. "Okay. You're the strongest person I know." Jessica smiled again, hiding the truth behind her eyes. That evening, Emma called her. "Jess, did something happen with Tom?" Jessica froze. "Why would you say that?" Emma said, "He deleted all your photos from his profile." Jessica took a deep breath. "Maybe he wants privacy. Everything's fine." Her voice shook, but Emma didn't notice. After the call, Jessica threw her phone on the bed and whispered, "Why am I lying to everyone?" Days passed, but the pain stayed the same. She began to live two lives, one for the world and one for herself. On her phone, she smiled. In her mirror, she cried. Every post was a new lie. Every like was a small piece of comfort she didn't believe in. One night, while scrolling through her photos, she stopped at one picture. It was an old one. Before Tom, before fame, before all the pretending. She was sitting with her daughter Anna, eating ice cream, laughing with no makeup, no filters. Jessica touched the screen and smiled. "That was real," she whispered. "I miss her, the old me." Anna walked into the room and said, "Mom, are you sad?" Jessica quickly smiled. "No, sweetie. Mommy's just thinking." Anna climbed on her lap and said, "Then don't think too much. Thinking makes people cry." Jessica laughed and hugged her tightly. "You're right, baby." After putting Anna to bed, Jessica looked outside the window. Her reflection stared back at her. "I'm living a lie," she said softly. Then she looked at the glowing screen of her phone, full of hearts, likes, and fake smiles, and whispered, "But can I stop now?" For the first time, Jessica didn't know the answer. Chapter 3. The Broken Mirror. Jessica sat in her office, pretending to work. Her eyes were on the computer, but her mind was far away. Every time she checked her phone, she hoped to see Tom's name appear, but it never did. Days had passed, and the silence felt heavy. She told herself again, "It's fine, Jessica. Everything is fine," but her heart didn't believe it anymore. That night when she came home, her daughter Anna ran to her. "Mom, let's draw together." Jessica smiled weakly. "Maybe later, honey. Mommy's tired." Anna looked sad and said, "You're always tired now." Jessica touched her hair softly. "I promise I'll play tomorrow." She knew she had said the same thing yesterday, too. After dinner, Jessica looked into the mirror while washing her face. She stopped suddenly. The woman in the mirror didn't look like her anymore. Her eyes looked tired, her smile forced. "What happened to me?" she whispered. "When did I forget how to be happy?" She looked closer and said softly, "I smile for the world, but not for myself." She closed her eyes and felt tears on her cheeks. The next morning, she met her boss, Mr. Carter. "Jessica, our client didn't like the last campaign," he said. "We may lose them." Jessica forced a smile. "I'll fix it." He looked at her carefully. "You look pale. Are you sure you're okay?" Jessica nodded quickly. "Yes, I'm fine." But she wasn't. Inside, she felt like everything was slowly breaking. At lunch, she sat with her friend Emma. "Jess, you need rest," Emma said. "You're pushing too hard." Jessica laughed a little. "Rest? I don't even know what that means anymore." Emma touched her hand. "You can tell me if something's wrong." Jessica looked down. "I wish I could," she whispered. Emma didn't hear her. That evening, Jessica looked at her laptop. A message popped up. Another company email saying her report was late. Her heart raced. She felt tired, confused, and alone. "Maybe I'm not good enough anymore," she said to herself. Then she opened SES social media again and scrolled. Everyone seemed happy. Vacations, birthdays, smiling faces. She whispered, "Do they ever feel sad like me?" Her phone beeped. A message from an unknown number appeared. It was from Tom. Only one word. "Sorry." Jessica stared at the screen. Her heart started beating fast. She wanted to reply, but she couldn't move her fingers. A part of her wanted to scream at him, and another part wanted to hug him. She put the phone down and whispered. What's the use now? Later that night, she stood again in front of the mirror. Her face looked calm, but her eyes were full of pain. "I'm living a lie," she said. "Every smile, every post, every word. It's all fake." She touched the mirror and said softly, "Who are you, Jessica? Who did you become?" Suddenly, Anna's small voice came from the door. "Mom, are you talking to someone?" Jessica turned quickly and smiled. "No, baby. Mommy's just thinking." Anna came closer and hugged her legs. "Then don't think too much. You look sad when you think." Jessica picked her up and said, "You always know what to say." After putting Anna to bed, Jessica sat on the sofa. The phone screen glowed beside her, full of pictures from people she didn't really know. She thought of her life, the fake smile, the fake peace, and the empty nights. She said quietly, "Maybe I'm not fine after all." She looked once more at the mirror. The woman inside looked back with tired eyes. Jessica gave a small smile and whispered, "Maybe tomorrow will be different." But in her heart, she didn't know if that was true. Chapter 4. The Online Storm. The next morning started like every other day. Jessica woke up early, helped Anna get ready for school, and checked her phone. But this time, something was different. There were hundreds of messages. Her heart began to beat faster. She opened her social media and froze. Someone had shared an old picture of her, the one she had edited last year. The post said, "Fake influencer caught lying to followers." Thousands of people were commenting, laughing, and judging. Jessica's hands started shaking. "No, this can't be happening," she whispered. She refreshed the screen again and again. More people were sharing the same post. Her phone buzzed with notifications, but every sound felt like a knife. She sat on her bed, holding her phone tightly. "Why are they doing this to me?" she said in a low voice. Her friend Emma called. "Jess, don't read the comments," she said quickly. "Just log out for a while." Jessica replied, "But everyone thinks I'm a liar. My whole image is gone." Emma tried to calm her down. "People forget fast. Just give it time." Jessica shook her head. "No, Emma. They will never forget this." She ended the call and threw the phone on the bed. For the first time, she didn't care about likes or followers. She only felt shame. At work, people whispered behind her back. Her boss looked serious. "Jessica, we need to talk," he said. "Our clients saw the post. They're worried about the company's reputation." Jessica tried to speak, but her voice broke. "I didn't mean to lie," she said softly. "I just wanted things to look nice." He sighed. "I understand, but the damage is big. Take a few days off." Jessica nodded and walked out of the office with tears in her eyes. When she reached home, she closed all the curtains. She didn't want to see anyone. She didn't eat or check her phone. Anna came near her and said, "Mom, are you sick?" Jessica forced a smile. "Just tired, baby." Anna sat beside her. "Then sleep, and when you wake up, Eula will be happy again." Jessica kissed her forehead and whispered, "I hope so." Days passed in silence. Jessica stayed offline. No new posts, no pictures, no fake smiles. She watched other people's lives move on while hers stood still. One evening, she looked in the mirror again. Her face was pale, but her eyes looked calmer. "Maybe this is a chance," she whispered. "A chance to stop pretending." That night, she opened her phone again. There were still negative comments, but she ignored them. She opened the camera, no makeup, no filter, and pressed record. Her voice shook, but she spoke honestly. "Hi, I'm Jessica. I know you've seen things about me. Some of them are true. I wanted to look perfect because I thought people only like perfection. But I forgot that real life is not perfect. I made mistakes. I'm sorry if I disappointed you. I just want to be real now." She stopped recording and watched the video twice. For the first time, she didn't hate how she looked. Her eyes looked real. Her face looked human. She uploaded the video with a small caption, "Just me." At first, there was silence. No comments, no likes. But after a few hours, messages began to appear. Some people wrote, "Thank you for being honest." Others said, "We all make mistakes. Stay strong." Jessica smiled softly. She whispered, "Maybe they don't want perfect. Maybe they just want truth." When Anna came into the room, she said, "Mom, you're smiling again." Jessica nodded. "Yes, sweetheart, but this time it's a real smile." Anna giggled and hugged her. "Then don't stop smiling, okay?" Jessica said, "I'll try." That night, Jessica lay in bed feeling lighter. The storm outside was still there, the comments, the rumors, the laughter. But inside her heart, there was peace. She thought to herself, maybe this storm is not here to destroy me. Maybe it's here to clean everything fake away. Chapter 5. The New Start. The next morning, Jessica woke up before sunrise. Her room was quiet, and her phone was still beside her. She looked at it for a long time. The old fear came again, fear of what people would say. But then she remembered her own words from last night. Be real. She took a deep breath and opened her social media. The video she had posted was still there. But this time, something was different. There were hundreds of kind comments. "You are brave," one person wrote. "Finally, someone real," said another. Jessica smiled softly. It was a new kind of smile. Small, but honest. Anna came running to her bed and jumped beside her. "Mom, you're happy today?" Jessica hugged her tightly. "Yes, baby. I think I am." Anna said, "Good, because happy moms make the best pancakes." Jessica laughed for the first time in weeks. "Then pancakes it is." She got up and went to the kitchen. It felt like a fresh start. Not the fake perfect kind, but a slow, peaceful one. Later that day, Emma came to visit. "Jess, you look different," she said. "Better, lighter." Jessica nodded. "Maybe because I finally stopped pretending." Emma smiled. "I'm proud of you. People loved your video. You spoke from the heart." Jessica replied quietly, "I didn't do it for likes. I did it for myself. I was tired of living two lives." After lunch, Jessica sat with her laptop. For the first time, she didn't feel pressure to be perfect. She started typing a new blog post. The title was Real Life Journal. She wrote slowly, choosing simple words. "Today, I learned that honesty feels better than perfection. I want to share small moments, not to impress, but to connect." She read her own words twice and felt peace. She clicked publish with a calm heart. In the evening, she took Anna for a walk to the nearby park. Anna ran ahead, laughing. Jessica watched her and thought, "This is what I missed. Real moments." She sat on a bench and looked around. For the first time in months, she wasn't checking her phone every minute. She was just there, a mother, a woman, a person who was learning to live again. When they returned home, Emma called again. "Jess, your new blog is already getting attention. People are sharing it everywhere." Jessica smiled. "Really? That's nice. But even if no one read it, I'd still feel proud. I wrote the truth." Emma laughed. "See? That's the new you." That night, Jessica tucked Anna into bed. "Mom," Anna said, "I like the new you." Jessica smiled. "What do you mean?" Anna replied, "You smile more now, and your hugs feel warmer." Jessica's eyes filled with tears, but she wiped them quickly. "Thank you, sweetheart. You always notice everything." After Anna slept, Jessica sat near the window and looked at the stars. She whispered, "Maybe I lost many things, but I found something bigger. Myself." She thought about all the fake smiles, the edited pictures, the lies she told to look perfect. They were gone now. What stayed was real, raw, and true. Her phone buzzed again. Another message popped up from an unknown person. "Thank you, Jessica. Your words helped me today. I was pretending too." Jessica smiled and replied softly, "You're not alone." As she turned off the lights, she felt calm. The world outside was still noisy, but her heart was quiet. She said to herself, "This is the beginning, not the end." She lay down beside her sleeping daughter and whispered, "Everything is fine, truly fine." And for the first time, she didn't have to repeat those words to make herself believe them. They were finally true. Chapter 6. The Quiet Change. Weeks passed, and Jessica's life began to move slowly again. But this time, she was not rushing to please anyone. Every morning she woke up, made breakfast with Anna, and wrote in her new blog. Her followers were fewer than before, but their messages were real. People shared their own stories about pressure, loneliness, and fear. Jessica read every message carefully. She felt close to them, like they were all walking through the same storm together. One day, she got an email from a woman named Lily. The message said, "Your story gave me courage to stop pretending. I cried after reading your blog. Thank you for helping me without even knowing me." Jessica sat still for a few minutes after reading it. She whispered, "Maybe I didn't lose everything. Maybe I found something better." Her days were no longer full of meetings or fake smiles. She spent time painting with Anna, reading stories, and cooking simple food. In the past, she had lived online, always watching, comparing, and performing. Now she was living in real time. Every night she wrote something new for her blog. Sometimes she shared her fears. Sometimes she wrote about hope. Each post was honest, gentle, and full of heart. Emma visited often. One afternoon she said, "Jess, you've changed so much. You look peaceful." Jessica smiled. "I think I just stopped fighting with myself." Emma nodded. "It suits you. And by the way, I met a friend who owns a small publishing company. They love your writing and want to meet you." Jessica's eyes widened. "Me? A book?" Emma grinned. "Yes. Real stories from a real woman. That's what people need." That night, Jessica couldn't sleep. She looked at her reflection again. This time, the mirror didn't scare her. She saw a tired but honest woman. "Maybe life gives second chances," she whispered. "I just needed to stop pretending long enough to see it." A few days later, she went to meet the publisher. The woman there, Mrs. Harper, smiled warmly. "Jessica, your words are powerful because they are simple. People connect with you." Jessica felt shy. "I just write what I feel." Mrs. Harper replied, "That's exactly why it works. I'd love to publish your stories." Jessica felt her heart fill with quiet pride. "Thank you," she said softly. When she came home, Anna ran into her arms. "Mom, how was your meeting?" Jessica laughed. "It went well. Mommy's stories might become a book." Anna clapped her hands. "Then I'll tell my friends that my mom is a writer." Jessica hugged her tightly. "No, tell them your mom is a dreamer who finally woke up. Days turned into weeks, and Jessica's book began to take shape. She called it The Truth Inside Me. Each chapter was about a time she had lied to herself and what she learned afterward. Writing the book healed her. Every page felt like another piece of her heart coming back together. Sometimes she still got scared. What if people didn't like it? What if the world laughed again? But then she reminded herself, "It's okay. I'm not writing for them. I'm writing for me." One evening, she was sitting with Emma at a small cafe. Emma said, "Do you ever miss the old life?" Jessica smiled thoughtfully. "Sometimes I miss the noise, the attention, but then I remember how lonely it felt. Now I don't need to act. I can just be." Emma nodded. "And that's why people trust you now." As the evening grew quiet, Jessica felt something new. Peace, not excitement, not fear. Just peace. She said softly, "It's strange, isn't it? When life gets quiet, we finally start to hear ourselves." That night, when she went home, Anna was already asleep. Jessica kissed her forehead and whispered, "You gave me strength when I had none." She looked around her small apartment, not fancy, not perfect, but warm. She smiled and said, "Maybe this quiet life is my real success." Then she sat at her desk, opened her laptop, and began to write again. The words flowed gently. "Happiness doesn't come from followers or fame. It comes from truth, from love, from peace." As she typed the last line, she whispered to herself, "Everything is fine, finally fine." But deep in her heart, she knew her journey wasn't over yet. Something new was waiting, just around the corner. Chapter 7. The Return. Months passed, and Jessica's life grew calm and bright. Her blog had turned into a small book that many people loved. Messages poured in from readers across the country, people who found comfort in her honesty. Jessica often smiled at her screen, whispering, "So, truth really does connect hearts." She was no longer famous for being perfect. She was known for being real. One morning, an email arrived from her old office. The subject line said, "We'd like to meet." Jessica's hands froze on the keyboard. For a moment, old memories came rushing back. The pressure, the fake smiles, the endless need to please. She thought, why now? After everything? She almost deleted the message, but then decided to read it. Her former boss, Mr. Carter, had written, "Jessica, your new work has inspired many. We'd love for you to come and give a talk to our young employees about real success and mental balance." Jessica leaned back in her chair and smiled faintly. Life really was strange. The same place that once made her feel small now wanted to hear her voice. She closed her eyes for a moment and whispered, "Maybe this is the real test, going back without fear." The next week, she stood outside her old office building. Her heart beat fast. Emma had come with her for support. "You got this," Emma said softly. Jessica nodded. "Yes, I'm not the same woman who left this place." She took a deep breath and walked in. Inside the meeting hall, young faces looked at her with curiosity. Some whispered, "Isn't she that influencer?" Jessica smiled and said, "Yes, I used to be. But today, I'm here as someone who learned the hard way that perfection is a lie." The room became silent. She continued, "I had everything people dream of: beauty, success, followers. But I was lost. I lived for likes and forgot to like myself." She told them about the night she cried in front of her mirror, about the fake photo that went viral, and about how that storm broke her, but also saved Sometimes, she said, you must lose everything fake to find something real." Her voice shook with emotion. Some people in the audience had tears in their eyes. Others nodded quietly. After her speech, the young employees clapped. Mr. Carter came forward and said, "Jessica, that was powerful. Thank you for being brave enough to share your truth." Jessica smiled. "Thank you for giving me the chance to speak it." As she walked out of the hall, Emma hugged her. "You did it," she said proudly. Jessica laughed softly. "And I didn't even need makeup this time." When she reached home, Anna ran to her. "Mom, how was your talk?" Jessica lifted her up. "It went well, sweetheart. People listened." Anna giggled. "I always listen to you, too." Jessica kissed her cheek. "You're my best listener." That night, she sat near her window and looked at the city lights. She remembered her old self, the woman who chased fame and feared silence. That woman was gone. In her place stood someone peaceful, confident, and kind. She whispered, "Maybe the world didn't change. I did." Her phone buzzed again. It was a message from Mrs. Harper, her publisher. "Jessica, your book is now a bestseller in its category. Congratulations." Jessica covered her mouth in surprise. Tears filled her eyes, not the sad kind, but the grateful kind. She whispered, "Thank you, God, for breaking me only to rebuild me better." Before sleeping, she wrote one last post for the day. "You can start over any time. The world doesn't need your perfection. It needs your truth." She turned off the light, hugged Anna close, and smiled. Everything was quiet, peaceful, and real. Yet deep inside, she felt that life was still opening new doors. Something beautiful was waiting for her again. And this time, she was ready to walk through it. Chapter 8. Everything is fine. The evening sky was turning orange when Jessica sat on her small balcony with a cup of tea. The soft air touched her face, and she smiled without thinking. It had been 1 full year since the storm, since her fake photo went viral and her life fell apart. That year had changed everything. She was no longer the woman who tried to impress the world. She was now someone who lived with peace, truth, and love. Her book had become popular, and people often wrote to her saying her words gave them hope. But Jessica didn't let the success fill her with pride. She always said, "Fame is nothing if it doesn't bring peace." She had learned that lesson the hard way. Now she used her voice not to show off, but to help others find their own strength. That night, Emma came over for dinner. "Jess, can you believe how far you've come?" she said, smiling. "From crying in your bed to inspiring thousands." Jessica laughed. "Sometimes I still can't believe it, but I think pain teaches better than comfort ever could." Emma nodded. "You turned your pain into power, Jess. That's rare." Jessica replied softly, "Maybe I just stopped running from it." After dinner, Anna sat beside her mother with her school notebook. "Mom, can you help me with my homework?" she asked. "Of course," Jessica said, smiling. As they wrote together, Anna said, "You know, Mom, my teacher read your book. She told the class that you are brave." Jessica's eyes filled with tears. "Did she really say that?" Anna nodded proudly. "Yes, she said brave means telling the truth even when it's hard." Jessica hugged her daughter tightly. "Then I guess she's right." Later that week, Jessica was invited to a big event in New York for authors and speakers. It was the kind of event she once dreamed about. But now she felt no fear, no hunger for attention. When she stood on the stage, she didn't wear a fancy dress or heavy makeup. She spoke simply, from her heart. "A few years ago, I thought success was about followers and beauty. Now I know it's about peace and honesty. The world doesn't need another perfect face. It needs real stories." The audience stood and clapped loudly. Jessica smiled gently and said, "Thank you for listening to mine." When she returned home that night, she felt tired but happy. She sat near the window with her diary and wrote, "Perfection breaks us. Truth heals us. I spent years building walls of lies, and one day, they fell. I thought I lost everything, but I found myself." She closed the diary and looked at Anna's photo on the table. "You're the reason I never gave up," she whispered. Days passed peacefully. Jessica's life had become simple. Writing, teaching, and spending time with her daughter. Sometimes people still judged her. Sometimes old memories tried to return. But she no longer feared them. She had accepted that life will never be perfect. But it can still be beautiful. One afternoon, she got a letter in the mail. It was from a young woman who had once followed her online. The letter said, "Jessica, I wanted to thank you. When you admitted your mistakes, it gave me courage to stop hiding mine. Because of you, I chose to live honestly. You changed my life." Jessica held the letter close to her heart and whispered, "Then all the pain was worth it." That evening, she and Anna went to the park. They sat on the grass and watched the sunset. Anna leaned on her shoulder and said, "Mom, you always say everything is fine. Was it always true?" Jessica looked at her and smiled. "Not always, sweetheart. But now, yes. Now it's truly fine." As the sun slowly disappeared, Jessica felt something she hadn't felt in years. A quiet kind of joy. It wasn't loud or bright, but deep and peaceful. She closed her eyes and took a long breath. In that moment, she realized that happiness had never left her. It was always waiting for her to stop pretending. When they returned home, Jessica opened her laptop and wrote her final blog post. "Once, I lived to be liked. Now, I live to be real. Life will never be perfect, but it will always be fine if you choose truth over lies and peace over fear." She clicked publish, then turned off the light. Anna hugged her goodnight and whispered, "I love you, Mom." Jessica smiled and said, "I love you too, baby. You're my forever peace." As she lay in bed, she looked out the window one last time. The stars shined quietly above. She whispered, "Everything is fine." And for the first time, those words were not a lie. They were her truth. Like, subscribe, and share. Read this story and many more on our website, bookishenglish.com, link in the description.